If you've been carrying a gun for some time now, or if you've had extensive conversations with a number of different types of people who've carried guns, you'll usually encounter that one guy that I like to call the "I wish a motherfucker would" guy. And this is the guy who is filled with what I like to call plastic courage. Honestly, he's a guy who basically feels like as long as he has his gun on him, no one can touch him. He's completely invincible. Or that when they made his gun, they stopped making everybody else's gun. The overarching reason why he's even carrying a gun in the first place is because he's on an ego trip. He's effectively allowed his ego to infiltrate his carrying a gun. They coupled together, had a baby, and you get the "I wish a motherfucker would" guy. There are no steps in elevation as far as escalating or de-escalating a situation. It's always 0 to 100 in a heartbeat, no questions asked. Everything he does goes back to his gun. We're talking an everyday guy. We're not talking a Marine or somebody in combat. We're talking somebody who goes to school, probably wakes up every morning and gets a Frappuccino. Because he has a gun, he's unstoppable, he's invincible. And the only reason he's able to do that, and the only reason he feels that way, is because he lives in his own mind. He doesn't really take into account the realities that a lot of us decide to take into account. Like, he basically thinks that his gun is the hammer of Thor, and that as long as he has it with him, nobody can touch him. The problem with that is he lives in his mind where nothing can touch him. Everything goes right. If a situation occurs, he'll be able to see it before it happens. Or if somebody does draw down on him, he'll be able to get the shot off before that person can. Or simply because he was able to stand at home for 30 minutes and run some drills that he saw on the Art of Dynamic Handgun with Travis Haley, he feels like he can pull his gun out and draw it faster than anyone else on the planet can. So this guy, in essence, is for more or less looking for a situation to occur so he can express and display his dominance. And unfortunately, a lot of times this usually occurs with people who honestly don't even conceal carry. They're just people who carry a gun illegally and just kind of run around and do whatever they want to do as far as carrying a gun is concerned. And then when a situation arises, the first thing they do is think, let me go get my gun. They live, eat, shit, breathe, and die behind their gun. Everything that they have is based on their gun and their ability to use that gun. The irony behind the situation is, majority of the time, they're horrible shots. They're not any good with their gun because they don't actually ever practice with it. And they feel like because they've gone to a firing range and been able to shoot some shots at 20 feet and been able to get a bullseye or a headshot, that this is in essence the person that because he's able to do these things at a standing cold range, that in real life that he's stone cold, dead on accurate with the gun, and that no one would be able to touch him with respect to that. And this could not be further from the truth. But like I said, again, he lives in his own world. And in his mind and in the fantasy he's created in his mind, he's untouchable. Nothing goes wrong. His gun doesn't jam. He is the it. So the "I wish a motherfucker would" guy usually incorporates not only that saying, but a bunch of other sayings that are pretty much laced and filled with all type of bravado, arrogance, and machoism that usually are not typical of concealed carriers or people who carry a gun legally. So with that being said, that's one personality type of the type of gun owner that you may encounter. Now in this series, I'm going to talk about a plethora of different types that I've encountered. And from that standpoint, what I'm going to do is some of them may be good, some of them may be bad, but they are the types of gun owners that I've encountered or that I've witnessed for myself. So with that being said, this is going to be the first part in that series of different types of gun owners. For most of us who conceal carry, we understand the realities of concealed carry. We understand that in a situation where shit goes really bad, our gun may jam. We may be scared shitless. We may not be able to pull the trigger. We may not remember to drop the safety. That a whole host of other things that may go wrong in our situation. So we train to avoid those things. This is something that the "I wish a motherfucker would" guy doesn't do. He doesn't factor these things into the equation because, like I said, he lives in his own mind. He lives in his own reality. It's kind of like having cheat codes on a video game where you never die. And so, with that being said, go ahead, share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me about some of the encounters that you've had with the "I wish a motherfucker would." Some of them are my friends. Some of them may be your friends or just strangers that you've met. But go ahead and tell me about a situation that you've had where you've encountered someone like this, or you know someone like this. So with that being said, that's Mr. Corleone Noir, and I'm out.